Jamaica is on high alert for the predicted Super El Nino that is expected to develop and shift weather patterns worldwide. It means intense droughts and heat waves could thrive in some areas and intense rain in other regions in the coming months. But what does it mean for the upcoming Atlantic hurricane season? As Kelesha Williams reports, while climate scientists say El Nino could suppress storm development, warmer ocean temperatures could trigger major hurricanes.
This declaration from the Met Service of Jamaica on Wednesday afternoon.
The Meteorological Service has been monitoring the weather conditions. We recognize that the rainfall has really been decreasing over the island. Also, temperatures have been rising, and we're watching the El Nino as it seems to be developing this year, and it could be a very strong one. So we're watching it very closely.
It follows an advisory from the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, that El Nino is emerging even faster than expected in the Pacific Ocean, and odds are increasing that it could become historically strong, a rare Super El Nino by fall or winter. El Nino is a natural climate cycle that happens when the Pacific Ocean warms enough to trigger changes in wind patterns throughout the atmosphere, and that has a ripple effect on weather conditions worldwide. It could lead to more droughts, heat waves, and wildfires in some regions and intense rainfall in other areas.
We'll be issuing any kind of releases that are necessary, and of course meeting with the whatever officials are necessary, but we want you to make sure that you take your information from credible sources. The Meteorological Service is on the ball. We're getting the information and we're willing to pass it out. We're ready to pass it out as soon as we do receive that.
On Thursday, NOAA is expected to release its annual outlook for the Atlantic hurricane season, and already questions are being raised about the El Nino's impact on hurricane development. While El Nino typically leads to tropical storm suppression and fewer landfalls, climate scientist at Climate Central Daniel Guilford says there are still concerns.
The climate change is here for us, right? The warm waters are still out there, despite the fact that we may be like seeing this El Nino happen. And so there is this back and forth interplay between the El Nino suppressing the storms and the warm waters available to supercharge the storms. So I think one of the things that we can expect is probably a below average season. I think this is what Colorado State has predicted for going forward. And NOAA, I will suspect, although we haven't seen it yet, will probably have something in that ballpark.
And so when a storm eventually develops,
it will see those warm waters in the Atlantic Ocean, especially in the Gulf of Mexico. We see these warm waters, and it will start to grow, and it could intensify and become a very major storm indeed. So despite the fact that El Nino conditions will generally suppress hurricane activity, there is a ton of warmth out there for these hurricanes to take advantage of if they're able to kind of get around the sheer constraint.
The climate change science has showed that warmer oceans are fueling stronger hurricanes, and they bring more intense rainfall and high storm surge when they develop.
As of this week, what you're looking at on your screen, global sea surface temperatures are running alongside record levels of ocean heat that we experienced in 2024.
Kelesha Williams, TVJ News.